Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.
Hi, guys, it's Jamie. Welcome to Back in the Blog. Today, I'm going to give you the background on how I became a blogger. It's going to be kind of like a first date, give you all the information, and see if you want to call me or come back for another date. So, starting from the beginning, I grew up in Albany. I went to college out in Colorado. After I graduated, I moved to Denver. And then, about a few months later, my little brother got shot in Afghanistan. He's a Marine, he's also alive. So, I forget to say that all the time. But I packed up and I moved back to New York because we weren't sure if he was going to make it for a little while. So once he was good and I was back in New York, I started looking for jobs in the city. I got an internship at the Brito Agency, a PR company run by Marvette Brito. She used to represent people like Mariah Carey, Estelle, so many things. She did spotlights on CNN. It ended up being kind of like the Black Devil Wears Prada. I would get her YSL heels in the rain. I would carry her little Yorkie at its Louis Vuitton carrier. But when I started, her assistant told me that Marvette thought that I was just some little white girl, that I had no hustle or anything. So that was my sign to get on it. I was there before her every day. I left after her every night, which was sometimes 2 a.m. I worked my ass off. Um, I guess people normally lasted like 2 months in that internship. I was there for almost a year. Um, I will say, shout out to Marvette because the one office she didn't let us go to was Bad Boy, so she knew. I got to work with amazing artists while I was there. I got to do Fashion Week with Estelle. I was tweeting for Twista back in the day. Bet you didn't know it was me. And then I made a lot of great connections. But it's hard to live on $300 a week in New York City. So this woman that worked there also, we kind of both branched out around the same time, and she had this idea to start a blog. And I was always into the music industry. It's been my life. Um, no talent though. So when she said that, I was like, yeah, I have this great idea. Huge fan of Two Dope Boys. Shout out to them. So I was like, let's call it Two White Girls. Turns out she just had the idea and didn't want to put in any work. So it was all me for that whole time. Um, I basically did the photography, did the interviews, did the writing, did the tweeting, did everything. I did not sleep. Um, I knew no one really in that industry besides the few people I met while at the Brito agency. So I would go to events with no pass, my camera, and literally Google pictures of important people like Elliot Wilson, um, Niall from You Heard That New. I think it was a Maya at Rep Raider at the time, and I would just go up to them and introduce myself. And lucky for me, everyone was very nice and welcoming, and they started inviting me to stuff. I started getting actual press passes instead of sneaking in. At one point, I ended up at like Kim Osario's wedding, and Royce to 5'9" was there. There were a lot of random events. So that's kind of what I'm going to get into at this podcast. It was a crazy time. Pretty sure that everyone in Hoboken thought I was some kind of stripper because I'd come home at like 4 in the morning and leave at like 1 again. Crazy schedule, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I have a lot of great stories that I have no one to tell because my daughters don't think I'm cool and don't want to hear it. So I'm going to tell them to you. Um, so I just recently moved back from California just in time to see my Knicks win the championship. And this is the perfect time. I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys all tune in. I plan on highlighting a lot of up and coming artists and artists that I always loved but never maybe got the spotlight because that was something I always did on my blog that really made me happy. And I loved seeing these underground artists evolve and turn into something. And I just still want to give some shout outs to people that were really around me back in the day. Um, If anyone has anything they want me to feature, any stories about certain artists, any unknown artists that they know, please send them my way. And I hope you guys really like what's coming. The first of Fish video will be out next week. We're gonna start with Hove since he had his big anniversary concert this week, which I'm so upset that I missed Rihanna. But we're gonna talk about what he did when I was working in the industry, which was release Watch the Throne. So I have some stories about that, and I can't wait for y'all to see everything. I hope you like it. If you don't, blame my friends that encouraged me to do this. I'll drop their ads later. And we'll see you then. Bye.
Alright, y'all, enough of that. It's time to go to bed, y'all. Time to go to bed. I want to hear.